Every 11 seconds, a senior falls, but the fall itself isn't the real killer. It is the fear-induced death spiral that follows. By the end of this video, you will know the exact sequence of 6 simple movements to rewire your fading balance system. You are going to regain your independence without needing a gym. What if the expensive safety equipment your doctor prescribed is actually making your balance significantly worse? Think about how often you rely on that grab bar. The hidden reason your body forgets how to stay upright has absolutely nothing to do with weak bones or fragile joints, and everything to do with a physically disconnected nervous system. People assume that aging naturally ruins their balance, but the reality is much more mechanical. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Neurology found that peripheral nerve signal speed drops by up to 15% after the age of 70. That is a massive reduction in the sheer velocity of information traveling from your extremities to your central processor. When those electrical signals slow down, your brain literally stops receiving the message that your foot has hit the ground in real time. You are essentially walking on numb stumps. Because the feet cannot feel the floor, the brain panics and forces your eyes to do all the heavy lifting to keep you oriented in space. This sensory mismatch creates a severe delay in your reaction time, meaning you cannot catch yourself when you inevitably stumble. Start paying close attention to the physical texture of the floor beneath your bare feet every single morning to force those dormant sensors to wake up and process data. Your body is not aging, it is disconnecting. The more you stimulate the soles of your feet, the faster those neural pathways can rebuild themselves. Walking barefoot on a safe, textured carpet for just 5 minutes a day provides massive neurological feedback. Imagine you are walking confidently through your living room. Your toe catches the curled edge of an area rug, and your entire body abruptly pitches forward into open space. It is a terrifying moment, and what happens next depends entirely on one specific muscle group. According to researchers at the University of Queensland in a comprehensive 2019 analysis, the gastrocnemius muscle, your calf, is the very first responder that fires to stop a forward plummet. It acts like an emergency brake, slamming down through your toes to push your center of mass back safely over your heels. If that calf muscle lacks explosive structural strength, the emergency brake simply snaps. The muscle folds under your accelerating body weight, turning a minor stumble into a devastating face-first collision with the hardwood floor. Most adults over 70 have not intentionally trained their calves in decades, leaving them dangerously vulnerable to this exact scenario. Grab the back of a sturdy chair right now, plant your feet firmly about hip-width apart, and push yourself up onto your toes as high as you can possibly go. Weak calves guarantee a forward fall every time. Do not underestimate the power of this movement. By performing heel raises daily, you are rebuilding the primary shock absorbers that stand between a simple trip and an expensive trip to the emergency room. Lifting yourself up onto your toes is only half the battle. Lowering yourself back down is where the actual life-saving muscular armor is built. Many people rush through exercises, letting gravity pull them down instantly. A robust 12-week trial published in the journal Gait and Posture demonstrated that the eccentric phase, the slow, controlled lowering motion, creates 28% more neural adaptation than the lifting phase. This means the downward movement actually forces your nervous system to recruit entirely new muscle fibers. Rushing through the downward motion robs your nerves of the friction they desperately need to grow. It leaves your delicate ankle stabilizers dangerously brittle when you actually need them to absorb the massive kinetic energy of a sudden fall. When you drop too fast, you are wasting the most valuable portion of the movement. Take a full 3 seconds to lower your heels back to the ground on every single repetition, maintaining absolute control until your heel gently kisses the floor. Gravity is the best balance coach you have. This slow, deliberate tension acts like a neurological wake-up call, demanding that your brain and your lower leg muscles communicate flawlessly. Aim for 10 precise repetitions to fundamentally transform your ankle stability. Why is a sideways fall widely considered the most lethal type of accident for an older adult living alone? The answer lies directly in the mechanics of the human pelvis. A 2018 study detailed in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that a weak gluteus medius, the crucial muscle located on the outside of your hip, increases your risk of experiencing a sideways fall by 48%. Every single time you lift one foot off the ground to take a step, your opposite hip muscle must fire with immense force to keep your pelvis perfectly level. If that lateral muscle fails to activate, your body aggressively sways to the side to compensate. Your center of gravity snaps outward, and you crash directly onto your fragile hip bone before your hands can even reach out to break the impact. This lateral weakness is exactly what causes devastating hip fractures. Stand directly behind your chair, keep your torso completely still, and lift your right leg just 6 inches straight out to the side. A swaying pelvis is a fractured hip waiting. Make sure your toes remain pointing forward, as rotating your foot outward shifts the work away from the target muscle. This targeted isolation is your primary defense mechanism against catastrophic lateral falls. When a group of seniors in New Zealand were placed on a strict, progressive protocol of hip isolation exercises, the global medical community was absolutely stunned by the massive improvements. The renowned Otago exercise program rigorously tested these specific side leg raises on well over 1,000 older adults across multiple clinical trials, resulting in an astonishing 35% reduction in falls over just a 6-month period. Ignoring your lateral hip muscles leaves a massive gap in your overall structural integrity. It means even a gentle bump from a stranger in a crowded grocery store, or a sudden gust of wind, can knock you completely off your feet because you have zero lateral resistance. Standard walking does not fix this, and using a walker completely bypasses these critical stabilizing muscles. Perform 10 controlled repetitions of these side leg raises per leg, deliberately adding a harsh 1-second pause at the very top of the movement. Side-to-side stability dictates your daily survival. As you gradually build strength, attempt to reduce your reliance on the chair, eventually using just 2 fingers for balance. This progressive overload is exactly how you reconstruct a shattered balance system. Walking normally gives you a wide, comfortable base of support, but placing one foot directly in front of the other violently strips all of that inherent safety away. In 2017, the prominent journal Age and Aging tested 486 older adults and revealed that those completely failing to take 10 tandem steps were 2.6 times more likely to suffer a severe fall within the following year. By never intentionally challenging your balance on a narrow base, your brain becomes incredibly lazy. It severely degrades its ability to quickly and accurately correct your posture when you inevitably step on uneven pavement, a cracked sidewalk, or a cluttered hallway floor. Your nervous system requires constant, dynamic challenges to remain sharp, and tandem walking forces the brain to process spatial data at maximum capacity. Find a long, clear hallway near a solid wall, and practice walking by placing your right heel directly against your left toes for 20 straight steps. Shrink your base to expand your neural control. You will likely wobble significantly on your first attempt, and that wobbling is the exact stimulus your body requires to trigger neural growth. If these targeted movements are already shifting how you think about preserving your physical independence, make sure you subscribe to iSeniorYT right now. We are just getting started today, and the single most powerful brain rewiring technique that clinical science has ever discovered is coming up in just a few moments. Staring down directly at your feet while you walk is actually destroying the exact sensory system designed by nature to keep you completely upright. A robust clinical trial conducted by researchers at Johns Hopkins University demonstrated that maintaining a forward gaze during tandem walking improved balance outcomes by a massive 22% compared to looking anxiously at the floor. When you continuously drop your chin to monitor your steps, you physically scramble the vestibular fluid sloshing inside your inner ear. You are essentially blindfolding your brain's primary internal gyroscope, sending conflicting signals to your nervous system, and making a severe fall highly probable. Your brain relies on a level horizon to calculate your exact position in space, and looking down shatters that critical reference point. Keep your chin elevated and lock your eyes onto a fixed target on the wall directly at eye level whenever you practice any walking exercises. Looking down guarantees you will end up there. Trust your newly awakened proprioceptive sensors to feel the ground so your eyes can scan the environment for actual upcoming hazards. Picture yourself trying to quickly put on a pair of pants while standing up in your bedroom, suddenly wobbling violently, and having to grab the heavy wooden dresser just to save yourself from a disaster. A massive 2022 observational study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed over 1,700 adults and found that failing to stand on one single leg for 10 seconds correlated with an 84% higher risk of death within a decade. If you cannot balance your mass on a single pillar, your deep core and spinal stabilizers are quietly atrophying. This silent muscle loss strips away your fundamental ability to navigate steep stairs, step over wet puddles, or recover from a simple misstep safely. Single-leg standing is not a party trick, it is a vital indicator of systemic physical decay. Stand securely next to your heavy kitchen counter and lift one foot just 2 inches off the floor, attempting to hold that absolute stillness for 10 seconds. One leg is the ultimate test of longevity. During this hold, over 100 distinct muscles are firing simultaneously to keep you vertical, creating a massive surge of neuromuscular activation. Your eyes have secretly been compensating for your rapidly failing nervous system, masking a dangerous physical decline that you likely have not even noticed yet. Researchers at the University of Michigan definitively proved that standing on one leg with your eyes tightly closed activates the brain's critical balance centers 3 times more than executing the exact same movement with your eyes wide open. By relying solely on visual input to stay upright, you leave your internal proprioceptors totally dormant. This means if you simply get out of bed in the pitch dark to use the bathroom, your body will have absolutely no idea where it is in physical space, and you will go down hard. Vision is a crutch that prevents your joints from learning how to react to gravity autonomously. Once you can easily hold a 30-second single-leg stand, try shutting your eyes for just 5 seconds while keeping your dominant hand hovering mere millimeters from a chair. Shutting your eyes forces your nerves to awaken. You will instantly feel your ankle vibrating and twitching. That erratic twitching is the exact feeling of your nervous system frantically rebooting itself. Do you know exactly where more than a third of all devastating falls actually occur inside the supposed safety of your own home? A comprehensive 2019 National Council on Aging report explicitly revealed that 36% of life-altering falls in seniors happen during transitional movements, like getting off a low toilet seat or rising awkwardly from a plush living room couch. Transitioning from a relaxed sitting posture to a full standing position requires a massive, instantaneous surge of coordinated muscular force. If your lower body cannot generate that explosive power instantly, gravity simply wins the wrestling match and pulls you violently backward onto the floor. Transitional falls are particularly dangerous because your momentum is already shifting backward, heavily exposing your spine and the back of your skull to the impact. Sit upright in a firm dining chair, cross your arms tightly over your chest, lean slightly forward, and push aggressively through your heels to stand straight up. Rising from a chair is a battle against gravity. Never use momentum to rock yourself out of the chair. Force your quadriceps and glutes to perform 100% of the mechanical lifting. When Mary, a 72-year-old retired schoolteacher, found herself utterly unable to get out of her sedan fast enough, her specialist didn't prescribe generic stretches, he aggressively timed her standing speed. A pivotal clinical study in the journal Physical Therapy tested 389 older adults and found that failing to complete 5 full sit-to-stands in under 15 seconds increased the distinct risk of falling by a terrifying 74%. Sluggish, grinding movement indicates a failing neuromuscular control system. It means your brain physically cannot recruit enough fast-twitch muscle fibers rapidly enough to catch you when you abruptly lose your footing on a slippery bathroom tile floor. Speed is the ultimate metric of a highly functional, highly responsive central nervous system. Practice standing up and sitting down 10 consecutive times in a row, intensely focusing on a brutal, controlled, 4-second descent every single time you sit. Speed reflects the true age of your nerves. The faster you can safely rise, the more power you have in reserve to correct an unexpected physical emergency in the real world. Static holds certainly build a solid foundation of baseline strength, but dynamic, unpredictable movement is what actually saves your life out in the real world. A truly landmark 2012 randomized trial from Harvard Medical School published in the New England Journal of Medicine proved that practicing structured weight-shifting exercises reduced falls by an astonishing 43%. Life is inherently chaotic, and without the refined ability to smoothly transfer your shifting center of mass, disaster strikes. A simple bump from a careless stranger in a crosswalk, or an excited dog running directly past your legs, will send you crashing down if you cannot instantly reroute your weight. Weight shifting actively trains your body's reactive survival software, essentially programming your feet to automatically step into the correct supportive position before you even consciously realize you are falling. Stand with your feet wide. Slowly shift 100% of your body weight onto your right foot for 5 agonizing seconds, then smoothly glide it entirely over to the left. Weight shifting is the ultimate reactive survival tool. This slow, deliberate transfer of energy is the core secret behind the massive fall prevention success of ancient practices like Tai Chi. Balance is absolutely not something permanently lost to the passage of time. It is simply a crucial physical skill that went untrained for far too long. By consistently practicing these 6 exact movements, you are systematically rewriting your central nervous system to ensure your physical independence lasts for decades to come. The medical alert necklace is a backup plan, but your nervous system is your primary defense. In our next video, we will mercilessly expose the 3 everyday walking shoes that are secretly destroying your foot mechanics and sabotaging your balance.